Alright guys, welcome back with me with another YouTube video. So today I'll talking about why is Gojo stronger than Sukuna? So, make sure to stay tuned for that. If you do enjoy seeing this anime reviews and want to keep them coming, the best thing you can do is smash that like button, and if you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is crucial, hit that notification bell or you will miss future anime videos. Jujutsu Kaisen is a relatively new series but already has a lot of fans. This happened not only because of the cool portrayal of characters such as Gojo Satoru and Megumi Fushiguro, but there are many other elements that built this series into the giant it is today. One of these elements is the storyline. Gege Akutami, as the original writer of this series, really likes to make his fans curious about what happens in this series every week. Although there are still some mysteries that are still unclear until now. But that actually makes this series something really cool and full of question marks that make fans get emotional. This is perhaps what made Akutami-sensei feel the need to create a fanbook that contains a bit of important information about this one series. One of the quite surprising information contained in the fanbook is about Gojo Satoru. Akutami-sensei wrote that Gojo Satoru was still the strongest person even when Sukuna was still alive with his real body. Reading this information, many fans were shocked. This proved that the level of Gojo's strength was very far and extraordinary. But not infrequently there are those who still question this. The times of the two characters were very different. Sukuna was born at a time when Jujutsu techniques and beliefs were new. So that in that era it was very rare for witches to roam like now. This is because in that era it was still a new belief and knowledge. So it is still natural that very few people can use this technique. So that automatically the standard for limiting the strength of Jujutsu is also different from the current era. Gojo was born during the Jujutsu era, which has undergone many developments and changes. Although indeed they still adhere to a relatively ancient system, but there are some new ways that they will still adapt if it doesn't violate what the Jujutsu elders have believed until now. In that era, the curse creatures were also free to roam. So that each region certainly has its own curse creature. So maybe at that time the curse creatures seemed to rule a region because they were at that time a more dominant species than the Jujutsu sorcerers. This also makes them have no reason to get stronger. And it could be that they were only subject to Sukuna, who was then their king. But in the end Sukuna was able to collapse with the collaboration between Jujutsu technique users. This is what lures the curse creatures to become stronger. Apart from wanting to become the new king, they also don't want to have the same fate as Sukuna. This is also what ultimately makes the Jujutsu sorcerer stronghold may experience a setback. This was because they couldn't keep up with the advances in the strength of the curse creatures, which increased every time. There are even some humans who are willing to cooperate with curse creatures just to make their own cunning dreams come true. Maybe in that era, they did succeed in sealing Sukuna and breaking it into 20 pieces. But at the same time they are also slowly experiencing many defeats because they cannot overcome the impact of what they have done. Until finally Gojo Satoru was born from the Gojo clan. This boy is classified as a miracle human because he can have 6 eyes and inherit the limitals technique at once. They have been waiting for a birth like a Gojo for more than 100 years. So that the existence of Gojo made the Jujutsu sorcerers feel relieved. This is evident, even when Gojo was still a kindergarten boy, many cursed creatures were afraid to run into him. You can see this in the Shibuya arc chapter when the Gojo was just sealed. The initial moment of Gojo's birth seems to be an apocalypse for the curse creatures. The reason is that none of them are comparable to Gojo, so that they are afraid. From time to time he will disappear in the hands of the witch. However, this turned out to be a double-edged sword for the camp of the Jujutsu sorcerers. The reason is that Gojo has a different understanding from those of the older generation who really hate progress. So Gojo quite often quarreled with them over decisions and ideologies. However, since they also recognized Gojo's strength, not a single person dared to argue with him for too long.